Hi, my dear friends. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're already in the festive mood and getting ready for Christmas. In any case, even if you're not in a very festive mood yet, I will try to create one for you today. Today I'm here with a watercolor fan art piece based on the anime Spirited Away by Studio Ghibli. You can't even imagine how much I love this anime and how long I've been thinking of drawing something based on it. So, if you love this anime as much as I do, welcome to this episode and let's draw together. You can draw with me or you can just enjoy this calm, cozy video of the painting process. And I will comment little on this process. As you can see, first I mark the areas that should remain untouched using masking fluid. Next, I apply the lightest colors, skin tones for all the characters in this scene, as well as a base first layer for the objects that will be the lightest. This is a long and not very spectacular stage since I have a lot of small details in this drawing. However, without it, we won't be able to move on to the most interesting part. For this work, I made a sketch in digital format as usual, and I took a frame from the anime as basis. But I tried to make it in my own style, closer to my own. I added little more details and shadows because, in case of a finished painting, there should be interesting details to look at. I really liked this frame. It was done so well from the point of view of composition, the colors, the characters. The figures of the main characters, Chihiro and No Face God, are in the foreground. The gesture with which No Face gives gold to Chihiro is the center of this composition, and even the beautiful decorative flowers painted on the wall seem to connect the figures of No Face with the figure of the girl, continuing his gesture. And the bright red tulip on the wall, usually located right above the open palms of the faceless one, seems to blossom from his hands. This detail, this wonderful composition, finally convinced me to draw this frame. I also really liked the large number of different funny characters in the scene. It was exciting and interesting to draw each of them. They are so different, and the emotions on their faces are undoubtedly so funny and bright. I also really love the solemnity of this scene with the crowd, this golden hall, and how Chihiro's figure and the tulip are highlighted in red. And the red tulip on the wall, its head even tilted toward the girl, pointing out again how important the girl's figure in this composition and the girl's role in this scene. No Face God is so dark and big. He embodies the darkness of loneliness and abandonment, the isolation and solitude that Chihiro experiences in this alien spirit world. This god, just like an ordinary person, a human, really needs support and friendship. Returning to my painting, to ensure the paint lays down smoothly and without sharp edges, creating soft transitions and washes, I first wet the surface, clean paper, with a clean brush and water. The water shouldn't run off too much. There shouldn't be too much water on the brush. It shouldn't run off. However, the paper should be sufficiently wet. How thinly or lightly the paper is wet determines how thickly or thinly and loosely the paint will lay. I cut out all the parts where I wet the clean paper with a clean brush from this video to save my viewers time. But I really want you to keep in mind that I did all the washes in this work on a freshly wet surface. To prevent paint from leaking beyond the intended area, the paper must be wetted very carefully and precisely within the desired area. Then everything will work out. By the way, this time I used cardboard from a box to stretch in paper. Since the work is pretty large, I couldn't find another suitable base. However, it turned out that this cardboard is still too soft and completely unsuitable for this purpose. Therefore, during the process of repeatedly wetting and applying water, my paper developed ripples. Fortunately, I was able to fix this by placing the finished work under a press overnight. I used some books and painting blocks as a press, but in the future I wouldn't take such risk again and will find much denser cardboard to stretch the paper on. Fun fact, until I started drawing using this frame from the anime as a reference, I didn't really notice that No Face is actually translucent in some parts of his body. When I no longer need the masking fluid, I clean it with an eraser. It's very important to make sure your work is dry for this, otherwise you can ruin the paper or move a layer of wet paint. During the work, I also realized that I needed to reserve some new zones, which I did. By the way, don't forget to change the water more often. I need to remember it as I see my water is not as clean as it must be. We can't forget that in watercolor we paint with water. And now we finally get to my favorite part of the painting with watercolor, the washes. I really love working with them, the way they look, and I really love how it looks in fast motion video, as if the paint has life of its own. It's spectacular. my work is ready. I hope you enjoyed this painting and found my comments helpful in some way. If you stayed with me till this very moment, you're simply wonderful. Thank you so much for watching and see you soon in the next video. Bye bye!